Another top 10 SEC showdown on tap for this edition of Friday Night Heights on the SEC ESPN Network. Stegman Coliseum, the place to be here in Athens, Georgia. It is senior night for the 10th-ranked Gym Dogs as they prepare to battle the 8th-ranked Auburn Tigers. Parity, the state or condition of being equal. Gymnastic balance in the SEC in 2016 is rooted in it. One by one, the Davids have beaten the Goliaths. Missouri, Arkansas, Auburn have conquered the elite. In its wake, parity too creates instability. Up for grabs, the 4th and final spot in the evening session of the SEC Championship. The Hogs, Dogs, and Tigers all in contention, fighting for a chance to compete with the elite, where the very best bring out the best and champions are crowned.
And right now it's close. Auburn in that 4th spot, extending their lead by .225 from last week, looking to continue to hold that 4th spot, but Georgia won't give up without a fight. They have 2 away meets and tonight's home meet, and it could help push them into that 4th spot with good team scores.
Well, you said it. It will be an exciting fight to the finish, no doubt, with the regular season winding down. I'm Alyssa Lee alongside Courtney Kupets-Carter. Casey Smith will join us shortly. Well, the Georgia Gym Dogs will open this meet over on vault, which has turned out to be their best event so far this season, ranked 4th nationally. Lauren Johnson back in the lineup. As you saw there, she will go number 2. Ashlyn Broussard will lead them off.
The Yurchenko full, nice height in the air. She was looking for that stick to start him off, had a small hop with her chest forward. They have so much excitement tonight, being senior night. She wanted it. You can't be tight when it comes to vault. You really need to let that vault go, let it be big, and let that stick happen.
It's all about focusing, breathing, being in the moment, and having fun for Georgia here tonight. We'll talk more about that as the meet goes on. Auburn will begin on the uneven bars. Scored a season-high 49-375 last week against Missouri. Had 3 sticks on the back end of this lineup, and much like Georgia, you'll see they've got a lot of difficulty on this event. Samantha Serio will lead them off, a freshman from Huntersville, North Carolina. And, you know, injuries opened the door for her to jump into the bars and beam lineup in the middle of a season, and she's had some trouble sticking her double tuck dismount, and Jeff Grabus says it's stickable, you just need to find it.
And she has a difficult combination in the beginning of her routine. She does what is called an L grip right there into that piked Jaeger. So clean. She makes it look so easy, and it is a very difficult combination. And that's right, her dismount is a giant full to a double back. One of the more simple dismounts, so she is really looking to find that landing tonight. And she did. Great start on bars. That 1-2 spot, Coach Graber was saying, when those go well, it really helps them to build that momentum for those big scores at the end. And there it is, the giant full. Nice height on her double back, and finds the landing tonight.
Great start for the Auburn Tigers. Good start for Georgia as well. And Lauren Johnson, as I mentioned, in the 2 spot. Missed all of last season with a torn ACL. Has a big Yurchenko full coming up.
Wow, so good. She got a 9.8 last week. It was her first week back out. You knew it would be better tonight, just having a little confidence under her belt. Great block off that table. She finishes the twist before she passes. And again, just looking for that stick. They need to remember, it will come if they just let it. Those vaults are big and good tonight.
And she's not done. You will see her in the bars lineup for the first time in her gym dog career a little later in this meet. This is Taylor Krippner now, the freshman from Cypress, Texas. Beautiful bar worker. Has a huge Tkachev. And even though she didn't get the stick last week, she still scored pretty well with a 9.875, which should tell you this bar set has some difficulty.
And she's clean on the bars. Really looking to hit those handstands as well tonight. Nice combination. She'll pass, shoot over to handstand. Nice clean start. Big Tkachev. Just the dismount left. Oh, a slight hop. She turned a little bit early off that bar, didn't let it release and get that height she needed before she twisted. And here's that Tkachev. Nice height in the air. In the dismount, you'll notice she just starts twisting off the bar a little early. Causes her to not have that control she's looking for on the landing.
Samantha Serio ahead of her with a career-high 9.85. This is Gigi Marino, a sophomore from Scottsdale, Arizona. Does the 1.5, had a small step on her landing last week, but her scores have been solid the last 3 meets.
Nice 1.5. You know, she's done a lot of 1.5s this year that have had some deep knee bends, some big steps and hops here and there, and that was so much more controlled. Nice block off in the air. Her chest is up, small hop forward. Should be a big score for her tonight.
Ashlyn Broussard with a 9.825 ahead of her, and Johnson with a 9.85. That is a career high for her. Send it over to Casey Smith.
Melissa, Jeff Graba told us this week that an emphasis for his team was starting fast. He wanted to see their energy right out of the gate, something he felt like they struggled with last week versus Missouri, and you're definitely seeing that down here on the floor. Even the girls who are not competing, keeping that energy loud, and that's something he wants to see, them staying in their own bubble and enjoying the pressure of this environment.
And you've got to do that on the road. They've been in a pressure environment before at LSU, did extremely well, scoring a 197 plus. This is Kelsey Kopech, the redshirt junior.
The pressure got to Kelsey a little bit there. She was a little close catching her release move, was not able to have enough swing to continue her routine. Slight pause will be a larger deduction, but has a big double layout coming up. Nice height.
Wow.
Keeps those legs nice and together. Beautifully done.
Very nicely done. Here are rules for college gymnastics. 6 gymnasts per team compete in each event. The 5 best scores count. The lowest score is dropped from each team's event total. And after all is said and done with, the team with the highest cumulative score will win the meet. So Sydney Sneed, the freshman. And we'll probably have to wait till next season to see her 1.5. Still not there with it yet because of her back, but she scores so well with this vault.
Beautifully done. She gets the height and distance that you're looking for on the Yurchenko full. Again, just that slight hop forward. Their chest is staying forward. They need to remember, finish your rotation. Look at that body shape, nice. Just a small pike down. They're looking for that landing too early. Nice block off. And just that small hop.
There's Kate Clues today. Very nice job on bars last week. Stuck her landing, scored a 9.875 to tie her season high. And scored nothing lower than a 9.8 on bars this season.
That's because she has great technique. Beautiful Tkachev again. Nice height in the air. They've really been working on form throughout the season, and it's really showing on every event. A little bit short on that last handstand. Wants it all the way, shoulders pushed out. And another big double layout, legs together, sticking those landings. The momentum is building for them on bars. And look at the height here. Just all the way over that bar. Great swing coming out of that release. And there's the handstand coming to the low bar. Just does a great job of pushing her handstand.
Great pacing on that bar set. And it's the final 3 that typically stick for the Auburn Tigers. And this is Brittany Rogers. It's senior night, 6-time All-American, 2-time SEC champion on bars and beam in 2013. Bothered by a foot injury this week. We'll see what she does with a 1.5.
1.5. Oh, and I wish she didn't move that foot, but she did. There was a slight push forward, but beautiful form, and that's what Brittany has been looking for all season, just cleaning up that form in the air. We did see her do a double full this season, sticking with that 1.5 vault. And wow, almost finding that stick, but what a start to her senior night.
And by the way, that foot injury, it's just more wear and tear. It's an issue she had with her other foot her sophomore season, which hampered her and is coming to bite her on the other foot here late in the season, but she will perform in the all-around tonight. This is Abby Millay, the sophomore from Denton, Texas. And again, a part of the final 3 in this lineup that Jeff Graba feels has been automatic at this point in the season. Kate Clues ahead of her with a 9.9.
Another nice combination. She does the ray. into her pack salto. She just is so fluid on bars, moving from one skill to the next. Needs to get this last handstand. She got it. Into her dismount. The giant full double back. Finds that landing. That was a really good routine.
Back-to-back sticks for the Tigers.
Getting every small tenth. There's that handstand. Look at her. Blocked out through those shoulders. Coming into this dismount, the double back. Finding that landing. That is huge on bars and on their first event. Coming out strong.
So the score is building now for the Tigers, and on the other side on vault, a 9.925 for Brittany Rogers, and now Brandy J, the anchor, will throw her 1.5. Had a small step last week, but we have watched her in warm-ups, Courtney, and she was nailing every single one.
I at least saw 2 that were stuck. And there it is! She found that landing. You could see that deep breath before she went. Nice block in the air. Legs are together now. That's usually something that she struggles with, is a little bit of that knee bend. Maybe her legs coming apart, but they look together.
Now, did she get the height this time, Courtney?
She got the height. I'm wondering if leaning forward like that, if the judges will take a deduction on that landing because of her leaning forward and moving her arms.
She did so great last week. We said, where were the deductions? She was just a little low on the landing. Caitlin Atkinson now, the anchor on bars for Auburn.
This is another big routine. What stands out the most,
dismount,
is her dismount. That's right. What you love about it, the height it gets. It's a true full in. You really want to make sure she doesn't twist early, though. Look at that height.
Whoa!
And it's there. That was perfect timing off that high bar.
Automatic again for the senior. Gets so high, you can't help but stick it.
It helps that she gets that nice angle in the air. The legs are together and just really comes straight down onto that mat.
Well, both teams off to a good start here inside Stedman Coliseum, both with a goal to end this one with at least a 197 or higher. Off to a great start on that end. Women's college gymnastics is brought to you by Regions Bank, proud to be the official bank of the SEC.
Check me out. I'm gonna do it yourself.
Friday Night Heights continues here on the SEC ESPN Network. Rotation number 1 in the books, and it's Georgia with a lead 49-4 to Auburn's 49-3-5. And the score's building on the back end for both of these two teams. You see vault for Georgia, very good at the end there. Rogers with a 9.925 and Brandy J with a big 9.95. And on the other side on bars for Auburn, yeah, see all those sticks on the back end. Clues, Millay, Atkinson, all over, well, 9.9, a 9.95, and a 9.825 there for Caitlin Atkinson. And hello, everybody. I'm Alyssa Lee. Happy to be joined alongside Courtney Kupets-Carter. It's senior night, which means it gives us an excuse to give a shout-out to 2 key seniors out on the floor tonight. Georgia's Brandy J, Auburn's Caitlin Atkinson. Both have been tremendous for their respective teams this season.
That's right. And Brandy J, she is the ultimate team player. She makes everyone around her better. Now, she's in all 4 events this year, and she has been scoring a 9.9 or higher in every single event. And not only is she strong, but now she's getting better. Beautiful height. And Auburn's Caitlin Atkinson proving she can step in and be a leader on this team. She is driven in practice and always looking to find what she can do better, even with big scores that she's putting up. Now, she is a strong all-around athlete with experience that will help this team in postseason.
The dynamic duo will show you what they've got in rotation number 2. Atkinson will throw her big 1.5 vault, and Brandy will look to shatter her career high 9.925 on bars when we come back.
Life in the NFL was tough on my body. I live with muscle and joint soreness every day. And life after football can be just as tough. That's why for knee and elbow support, I choose Copper Fit.
Copper Fit, advanced compression garments to help relieve muscle and joint soreness.
With my active lifestyle, my body reminds me it needs the support.
High-performance fabric to aid in faster recovery, performance, and guaranteed relief of muscle aches and pains, and blended with odor-reducing copper. Call 1-800-603-8135 or on the web at getcopperfit.com. Get your elbow or knee for $19.99. Order now and you'll receive a second sleeve. Just pay separate shipping and handling.
For this old arm, I choose Copper Fit. Go. Oh, come on. That was a perfect pass.
Feel the relieving power of compression. Feel the power of Copper Fit.
The 2016 SEC Gymnastics Championship from Little Rock, Arkansas, Saturday, March 19th, Session 1 on ESPNU at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Session number 2, the evening session at 6 p.m. Eastern on the SEC Network. Well, tonight, Georgia and Auburn fighting to lock down that 4th spot in the evening session of the SEC Championship. Right now, Georgia with the lead as we get set for rotation number 2. It's senior night, and the third member of our crew, Casey Smith, has more on the legacy the 3 Georgia seniors will leave behind.
Well, Melissa, this group of seniors is very unique because they came in with this current coaching staff and they've been to the highs and lows together. Mary Beth Fox followed her sister to Georgia and she's been wowing people with her floor routine ever since. She told me she fell in love with gymnastics at 3 years old and has never looked back. Brainy J was so dedicated to being a gym dog that her mom actually moved to Athens with her, and she loves this program so much. She wants to be a grad assistant coach because she wants to continue leading this team. And finally, Brittany Rogers is that natural-born leader who just always puts this team ahead of herself. And Dana Durante said that she's so important to this team because how she leads by example through her gymnastics. Melissa, a truly special group of gymnasts for Georgia.
And all those young ladies not quite happy with how the season has turned out, but there is plenty of time with a couple of meets still remaining. They have 2 after this one to get back to where they feel they should be. And everybody remembers the 2005 Georgia team that went from worst to first, winning the national championship.
They were seeded 12th going in and came out number 1. It was a big, big day.
Auburn will evolve here in the second rotation. Sarah Garcia, the sophomore now.
Nice form and height in the air, but she just pikes down at the very end. Be a slight deduction for her. But a good start. They have been working to try to switch around those first 3 in that vault lineup to see if they can mix it up to whichever one will help those last 3 athletes.
It was the first time for Garcia to lead off, and let's send it over to Casey again.
Well, Sydney Sneed will start off on bars down here for Georgia, and that's something that the coaching staff said she just needs to be in this position because she doesn't need time to think. She's ready to go right out of the gate, and down here on the floor, you see her go directly to that starting spot. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. She wants to get it out of the way, and that's something that's very valuable for this team.
She's definitely super relaxed as a gymnast and a person. Nice start so far. Really opened up with that nice first handstand. Such a natural swinger. Just a dismount, double layout. Finds that stuck landing.
Dana Durante knows best. That was a great leadoff.
And here's the dismount again. Beautiful swing into it. Double layout, legs together. And she does not move. They're excited and a great way to start off bars.
A great way to build after the fall to start on bars. Last week at Alabama, this is Kate Clues. Stepped into this lineup after the Arkansas meet with a couple of injuries there. She can do the 1.5. See what she does tonight.
Yurchenko full, finds the landing. She was supposed to do that 1.5 last week, but stuck with the full. We'll see how Jeff Graba reacted to her vaults.
He is in his 6th season as Auburn's head coach, and the improvements for this program since he got on board has just been incredible, and we will talk more about that as the meet goes on. They got to the Super 6 last season for the first time in over 20 years, and looking to continue that trend here this season. As we see Lauren Johnson, we told you she was going to be in this bars lineup for the first time in her career, and certainly not off to a good start.
That's right. She is doing the mount where she just touches the low bar, grabs the high bar off of the board. Not quite sure what happened. It looked like she might have been leaning over a little too far. A little excited. It looks like she will start her routine over. So she will get the deduction for a fall, but she needs to get in the swing of her routine, so she's repeating that mount. There it is. Now it's time for her to just relax and do her bar routine. Big Ginger. Looks like she could open those hips a little bit more on the handstands. Doing a great job since she got back up on the bars. Double layout. You know what a great landing and a nice finish. It's unfortunate she had that first fall.
She got back up there and finished it off very well, which makes you wonder what that routine would have looked like had she not had the fall initially. Dana was excited to get her into this lineup. We talked to her just before the meet. She made that change, and she will grow from there. This is Taylor Krickner now. Had been in the leadoff spot, moved down a bit this week. Let's see what she does with it.
Nice body positioning in the air. She really gets that height as well off of the table. Jeff Graba was really talking about with this team, he wants them to do big vaults. They have them, he wants them to do those vaults, and then the landings will come, and that was just a small hop backward. It'll be a slight deduction.
Well, he told us his vault lineup is still in, quote, January mode because they lost to Miracle Phillips and Emma Engler to injuries back in that Arkansas meet and had to almost start all over again. You see Natalie Vekulik now ready to go on bars. Had the fall to open up the meet at Alabama last week, and Dana moved her down in the lineup to take some of that pressure off from being the leadoff.
She is very tough on herself, and she gets what she would say wound naturally tight when she competes, trying to loosen up later in the lineup. Now, competing after a fall, this is going to give her big confidence to have a nice, smooth routine moving forward to postseason. Needs to remember to wait for that twist. And she finds the dismount. That is going to be a big confidence booster for her.
Much, much better. And boy, did she nail that landing.
Here's her release move. Nice distance from that bar. And this dismount. Had a little bit of trouble on it in warm-up. Finds the landing in the meet. Great way to come after that fall.
So Sneed with a 9.85. They're hoping to drop Lauren Johnson's 9.25. And on the other side, this is Lexis Demers. Ready to vault for Auburn, one of 3 seniors on this team.
Nice position in the air in that landing. Coach Graba knows what he's talking about. This team has big vaults, and they just need to wait for those landings. She did that tonight. You could see her just squeeze on the end of that landing, making sure she wasn't going to move.
She had a step and a little shuffle last week. Definitely working, obviously, to clean up the landing, and certainly did that there. Rachel Schick. She missed some handstands last week, but has been fairly consistent in that 9.8 to 9.875 range the last couple of meets. Has a couple of big release moves. We'll see here as she gets going.
Right, she does 2 in her routine. There's the big Takacha. Such a fluid swing on bars.
Vekulik ahead of her with a 9.875. Season high for her.
Questionable handstand there on that low bar. Georgia definitely keeps the difficulty in their bar routines. Double layout finish. What is on that mat tonight? I'm loving it. We're seeing so many sticks over there.
Some stickum or something back-to-back here for the Dogs.
That comes with time and numbers throughout the season. They're peaking right on bars, finding those landings. Great job from Schick. Team loves it. Great momentum to build from one to the next.
Speaking of momentum, it's been building for Auburn on vault. They've got a 9.8 for Garcia, 9.85 for Clues, a 9.85 for Krippner. Season and career highs there. And here is MJ Rote, big vault coming up.
Wow. That ball excels because of the distance she gets. Not only is the form there like we've seen on the other vaults, but her distance is out of there. She's almost past that 4-inch mat. Finding the landing. Take a look from this side. Beautiful hips open flat in the air. She's wanted that for a while now.
Now Brandy J, the other senior for Georgia, has scored a 9.9 or better on bars the last 4 meets, has a killer set. She's been stuck on her career high 9.925 a couple of times this season. We're hoping she could push that a little bit more here on senior night. She will follow up the career high 9.925 by Rachel Schick.
She was able to find her dismount last week, hoping for a clean routine. Nice handstand to the low bar. Oh, that one might have been a little bit short. Crowd exploding for her release move. This big down dismount, the double layout with a full twist and a slide hop backward. Nice routine. She gets so much power out of that dismount. There's the release. The crowd went wild on the full twisting Tkachev. And here's that dismount. It's so big. She does it so well. Had a little extra rotation added to it tonight.
Caitlin Atkinson wrapped things up on vault for Auburn. Ahead of her, MJ Rote with a season-high 9.95. The judges like that vault, too. See if they like Atkinson's here.
1.5. She has really improved in her form on this vault. It's a difficult vault. It's a 10-0. The Yurchenko full is devalued against that 9.95, so she's able to get a 10. And she keeps pushing the boundary on it, but does have the step tonight.
Still looking for that landing on that 1.5 for Atkinson. But some big scores for Auburn. And rounding things out on bars, Brittany Rogers. And she had the unfortunate task of anchoring bars for Georgia last week, right after Lauren Beer scored a perfect 10 on vault for the Tide, ended up falling in the middle of her set. And you know she's ready to get back up inside Stegman, on bars, and knock it out of the park.
She has such a beautiful routine, and it is the most difficult one tonight, in my opinion. And there she just directed her toes a little too far to that low bar, was not able to get the swing she needed, but beautiful recovery to the high bar. Just the dismount, double layout with the hop.
You can tell she kind of rushed that at the end, knowing she had the mistake there.
And she's done them so well. You see that hand just slip. She has pushed the bars a little bit closer together. She has been used to it this year, but that could be one of the reasons why.
Well, 3 season highs and a career high on vault for the Auburn Tigers, and Casey Smith is standing by with their head coach, Jeff Graba.
Coach, you knew how important a fast start tonight would be for your team energy-wise. How do you assess it so far?
Well, I really like what we're doing so far. I think the girls came out ready to go. You know, we've been starting slow in the past, and we actually hit it on all cylinders right away.
You said that a thing for your team was wanting to put all 4 events together and be sharp in a complete meet. What do they have to do to continue to do that?
Well, we're going to an event that we have some confidence in, so I'd like to see us let it all hang out and have a little bit more fun. We're starting to get on a roll, so play a little bit of add-on, have some fun.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, his Tigers are heading to 4 for rotation 3. It's been their strongest event the second half of the season, and they will show you why when Friday Night Heights continues.
Way to the world.
At the halfway point here in Athens, Georgia, between the Gym Dogs and Auburn Tigers, it is Auburn now with the .25 lead after 2 rotations, and the vault score is very, very good for the Tigers. 3 season highs, 1 career high for them, and really the scores just build one after the other on vault. And you see Krippner with the 9.85 on vault for the Auburn Tigers. And then on the other side for Georgia on bars, their scores were pretty good, and a couple of miscues cost them, though. You see the 9.575 for Brittany Rogers.
She did have that mistake where she stayed on the bar, but it wasn't a fall, and that's what is so good about their fight right now. She made a small mistake. She felt it coming, but she did not let go of that bar. She stayed on it and continued her routine.
And now a look at our belt competing with style highlights. Brandy J got the crowd on their feet with a 9.95 on vault.
Has such a big vault, the 1.5. Gets great height tonight, which she was missing last week. Senior night, she's having fun.
MJ Rote on the other side said, I will raise you. A 9.95
Coach Graba has been looking for those landings, and he got several tonight on vault.
And then Abby Millay on bars picked up a 9.95 career high for her.
What a beautiful routine. Just so fluid from one skill to the next, hitting those handstands, and most importantly, she hit that dismount.
Well, when we come back, Georgia will tap into their senior leadership to tackle the balance beam, and MJ Rote will light up center stage for Auburn when she takes the floor next. Georgia and Auburn finishing warm-ups as we get set for rotation number 3 here in Athens. And former Georgia head coach Suzanne Yakelin always with a watchful eye. All of her 10 national championships. That is in the concourse here above us inside Stedman Coliseum. Right now it's Auburn with the .25 lead as we get set for rotation 3. Well, we mentioned Auburn pretty good in the floor exercise, and as Jeff Graba puts it, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Right, Casey Smith?
You're absolutely right, Melissa. Coach Graba told us that before the season, this team knew that they could be good on floor, but they had to go out and prove it. And if you look at their score progression on floor through SEC meets, they're doing exactly that. They have 7 girls in their floor lineup capable of the highest difficulty, and Kaylin Atkinson told me that's because this team simply trains with the confidence that they can score high each week. She said they did have a conversation this week as a team saying, how can we get even better? But ultimately, she feels that this team has continued to improve on floor because they're having fun. And her message to the team that's happening right now is let's go put on a show. Courtney, what have you seen from this incredible floor?
They just are a true testament to staying the course. That's for sure.
Georgia will open rotation 3 on the balance beam. Enter the Darth Vader theme music here. They've hit 6 for 6 just once this season. That was here at home a few weeks ago against LSU. So we have seen the potential, you and I, Courtney Kupats. And they had 2 falls last week, and so they switched up the leadoff. And it is Brandy J who has been rock solid on beam all year.
I like this leadoff. I think Brandy J, even though this is her first year competing beam, has really found her place in the all-around, and it will really help to bring a great start to this beam lineup. Nice side aerial. Good landing.
Let's send it over to Casey.
You guys are talking about Brandy being in this leadoff position, and she said that she understands how important this position is, and she knows that it's different than a lot of girls who compete it because she hasn't even been in the lineup all year. She said she is appreciating every moment, and that her confidence that her team and her coaching staff put her in this position is why she's so excited to go out and do it on senior night.
And she is really showing that. Gymnastics has been something she's done since she was a little girl. And you know, tonight is a special night for her. Being able to do that for her team as well. We said it earlier, she does better when she's helping her team, not focusing on herself. Looks like that's what she's been doing on the balance beam tonight. Round off 1.5.
Very
nice
landing. Wow. Now, if that doesn't get you excited as a gym dog, nothing will.
That should really help that momentum build for the rest of the girls coming up. And there's the front kick over right into her back handspring. You see her arms continue to move. That will help her connection. You see a pause. It's not a connection. She did great into that dismount. Almost a movement, but no, she's holding on to it.
Auburn will head over to floor, ready to show off all the E-passes. They've got 1 through 6 in this lineup. They've actually got a 7th waiting in the wings they can put out there at any time. So much control in everything they do out there. Abby Millay, the sophomore, will lead them off. She's one in the lineup that did have some issues with her landings last week. Clean throughout. For everybody else, we'll see what she does here.
Front layout, front 1.5. Great combination. She really rose on that second front flip. It's what you want to see when you see combination passes. The second flip rising above the first. And now she's also changed around some passes. She started with her double pike being her second pass, and that was a double tuck beforehand. Now she's moved that right there into that second spot. And she talked about they put in the double tuck for reasons of just getting her out there, having her compete. But she likes the double pike better, and I understand that. It's more difficult, but sometimes you just like that lift and you pull it around. You don't have to worry about over-rotating it as much.
So far, the landing's much improved from a week ago on her first 2 passes.
Looking for that chest up when they land, full control. 1.5 to front layout. Beautiful start. Looking again at her second pass. She does the double pike here. She gets great liftoff in the air. And she doesn't even need to lunge. She stands with both feet, showing she had perfect direction. And there's that last pass, a nice smooth finish.
This is Natalie Vikulik, who had the fall in both lineups last week at Alabama, including Beam. Did very well here in the LSU and Oklahoma meets. And she will follow the 9.875 by Brandy J.
Again, she was the leadoff earlier this season. Having Brandy J go ahead of her gave her a little more time to just prepare and relax. It worked on bars, where she moves back in the lineup. Nice back handspring there. You can see a small wobble. She's kind of testing the waters and controlling herself. Nice front aerial. You can see her kind of getting that determination on her face.
Saved it.
And a slight wobble, just not that full confidence, knowing once she goes into that skill that she is going to land it. She's questioning it a little bit, but holding on tonight. She's giving all she has.
And what did Dana tell us? That the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield for a reason. You can't look behind. You can't think about what you did the week before. You got to think about the present and be present. And that's been the problem this season.
Right, and there's the dismount. Nice landing. She is building confidence tonight on bars, really finishing strong after a fall, and now on beam, having slight wobbles, but not coming off the beam. That's big.
Again, moving that lead off around Brandy J. Got him off to a great start. And you see almost a sigh of relief for Vikulik to just get off the beam. She did have a couple of body checks, but did not fall. This is Colin Locke, the junior from Texas. Has a huge Arabian double front. Very clean and controlled on the landing with it last week. Picked up her highest score of the year because of it with a 9.9.
Her double Arabian is beautiful. And it's the half twist to a double front. Wow. She just comes right down on top of herself, showing she has great control. And keeps those legs together. That's big on the double Arabian, where you can pull them apart. Nice middle pass. You see she connects her first pass right into her second pass, getting it out of the way. Now getting some dance in there before her third pass.
Graba had that philosophy that Casey mentioned about the softer landings earlier on in the season, back when he was at Utah. Said he was coached elite before he got into college, and Greg Marsden hired him at Utah, wanted to adapt the training on that end, and he's brought that to Auburn, and it's coming to fruition, I'd say, since last year and into this year.
And it's so important. If these girls can show Coach that they can hit their routines in the meet, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to use that soft landing in practice just to save those bodies, so they can't do the big skills all year long. And look at that finish, straight up, both feet together. That is what you like to see.
They are having fun out there. Doesn't matter where they are, they've learned to be just as good on the road as they are at home.
They truly are, and here's her double Arabian.
Beautiful.
Great control, and she also gets the height, and that's really what helps her on these landings. Double tuck to finish it off. Both feet together. She didn't even need the lunge out of it.
So Malay let him off with a 9.85. And on the other side for Beam, Brittany Rogers. When her career wraps up here at Georgia, she will continue on with the Canadian national team at the Olympics this summer, and has done a heck of a job balancing the two this season. Elite world and the collegiate world.
And to do that, she is keeping some of those skills for the elite world in her beam routine. and all of the events. A slight body check right there. Beautiful back handspring full twist.
Dana said she heard so many comments, oh, she'll be tired moving back and forth. And Dana said, no, this is a story that needs to be celebrated. She's handling it like a champ, and this is what she wants to do.
I'm sure is wearing on her a little bit, but that's where the mental capacity comes in big, and that's what you need on the balance beam as well. When you put mind over matter, you can do anything, and she is proving that. Again, like Vikulik, she's having a few body checks. And again, she usually holds that handstand position. She needs to stop and breathe. What did Dana say the last time? I wish I could just call a timeout and tell you to breathe. I think she'd want to say that right now. But she's been fighting through, and here's her dismount. Slightly off to the side. You'll see a slight deduction for that. So they're staying on the beam, but they're all having wobbles. They'll need to start cleaning that up if they want to go ahead of Auburn. And you see the back handspring layout. It was one of her bigger body checks of the night where she pulls that leg all the way off the beam. She's not happy, but she still has so much left tonight to give to this team.
Well, ahead of her, Vikulik had the 9.75. Of course, Brandy J with the 9.875. And now MJ Rote. So improved on floor since the beginning of the season. Sky-high tumbling, as you see there. Beautiful.
I love that first pass. She does do it so well. She had a little too much coming out of it. A slight deduction on her landing. Wasn't as controlled as we have seen her in the past.
Yeah, the last 4 weeks, she scored a 9.9 or better on floor.
Sometimes that's just due to acclimating to the floor. Every floor has a different bounce, and you need to make sure your takeoff is in the right direction for the different bounces. Sometimes they're quicker, you need to go faster. Sometimes you need to slow them down. Nice middle pass, but again, you can see her kind of have a little too much bounce into that lead.
Cullen Lodge ahead of her with a 9.9 score.
That's her last pass, and she'll really want to control this landing to give that score its biggest potential. Ending with a double pike, great difficulty, but again, bounces out of that pass a little bit. You want to see that control. So big skills, great tumbling, but just not the control she's looking for on floor. There's that double pike. You can see her feet just move backward. Team loves it. They're building that energy, and they want to keep it going.
Back over to beam, and Vivi Babelis, the sophomore. And, you know, it was nice to see her bounce back last week after seeing her struggle here at home against Oklahoma 2 weeks ago. She kept herself on the beam in the Bama meet. No issues after that front toss to finish with a 9.85. Let's see if she can do it again here tonight.
Front aerial into that back handspring layout, step out. Again, just slight wobbles. They're controlling it, which is good, but when every athlete has a wobble, it will add up in their team total.
And the wobbles haven't been much of anything that they could cover up either.
No, they're... See her breathing, getting ready for that front toss. Nicely done. There she goes, getting back on track.
Dana did say, just looking for that switch to go off on this team. There is no magic potion.
Front full dismount.
Finished well.
A nice landing to the end. But again, they're staying on the beam, and I think that's one thing. If they can take any improvement away, they're staying on and they're fighting through.
And ahead of her, Brittany Rogers with a 9.75. MJ Rote with a 9.825. Kate Clues will follow her up. Cruz scored a season-high 9.9, and she earned it last week. She does not take her foot off the gas pedal in this routine. Can get up there on all of her passes, especially the last one.
She does a full in to start. You'll really want to make sure you see those legs stay together. In the air, wow, much better this week. Big lunge in that landing.
So Auburn trying to build on their .25 lead heading into this third rotation. Take advantage of some of the wobbles on beam for Georgia.
They're getting used to big crowds at home. They're bringing in big numbers in crowds, getting used to that. I think it startled them at the beginning of the season.
We talked to Dee Brewer a few weeks ago, and she said, I don't know if there's a rowdier crowd than Auburn. And boy, have they come a long way, baby.
Learning to perform under that pressure. Great double back landing. The control we're looking to see. Nice routine for her. Great start with her full in, and her last pass gets some big air. Her double back, look at that go all the way up. And her legs are staying nice and together, so there will be no deduction in the air on her double back.
Let's send it over to Casey.
Melissa, another thing that this Georgia team worked on that Brandy J said was the mental aspect of the beam, and she's being a leader down here. She walked up to Ashlyn Broussard, who's about to get on beam now, and said, just breathe, be confident, that's when we're best. And by the way, be extremely thankful this opportunity, and all smiles down here for Georgia. Brandy J leading that charge.
No surprise there.
She has really taken on that leadership role in her gymnastics and just with every teammate. Wants big things for this team. Nice series for Ashlyn. She did have a fall last week.
You know, it's been up and down the lineup that you've seen the falls for Georgia this season. And then the next week they'll hit, and then somebody else will fall. And so far they've all stayed on, just had some pretty good body checks, a couple of routines, and Broussard in the back end of this lineup looking to hit big.
What's so good about these last few in the lineup, and for Ashlyn in particular, is when she hits big. Her skills are beautiful, and they're done so well.
There's that smile.
She's really pulling out that confidence in herself. But it helps when you know your teammates have your back, and they have confidence in you as well.
Very nice.
That was the routine that will really help them, push them along. We have Mary Beth Box after her. And here's her series of the back. One arm back handspring into that layout step out. Just so smooth throughout it. And the dismount. Not the full control we've seen from her, but definitely a stuck nonetheless.
Alexis Demers has scored a 9.9 on 4 the last 3 meets. Her first pass is fantastic. And she is one that can control every single one of her landings. And when she does, look out.
And we saw the full in tuck from Kate in front of her. She will do the full in pike, which is more difficult, but she does it so well. There it is. Great form in the air.
She got up there.
And she loves to perform.
Love what Jeff Graves said about this Auburn team, and I'll continue with that thought in just a minute. With that pass in there.
Front layout, front 1.5, and again, you see that second flip rise above the first. That is what helps give big scores like they've been getting.
Graves says that this team, these girls are not intimidated anymore. Last year they built confidence going to the Super 6. He says we don't need other teams to have a bad meet for us to beat you anymore. And if we take care of business, he really, really feels like they can hold up with anybody in the country.
And it's so true. When they're in themselves and they just build on what they've done the week before, it's showing and they're getting better. What a big confidence booster in itself. Looking at her first pass again, the full in pike. Nice body position. You can see, again, has a little bit too much momentum going backward. The floor looks a little bouncy. Looks like she didn't figure it out quite enough.
But nothing lower than a 9.825 on floor for Auburn. Loic with a 9.9. And on the other side for Beam, Ashlyn Broussard with a career-high 9.925. And we know Mary Beth Fox, the senior, can hit this and hit it big.
I love the way she attacks this beam routine. And after Ashlyn going and having a nice routine, one of her best, it's no doubt Mary Beth will come out and attack this beam routine as well. Her series, you just see the attack and how she finishes each skill. Nice leap combination. Looks like she was a little bit low in that second jump with her legs. You want to see that full 180-degree split and the classic moonwalk. She's been a great anchor on the balance beam. Really a clutch performer when they needed her to be.
She is so beautiful on beam. She makes it look easy.
The dismount round off 1.5. Oh, just that slight hop with those feet. But that was a gorgeous routine.
She'll take it.
You can see her sister Marielle Box in the crowd there cheering her on. And the moonwalk. Tradition for years. And that dismount, you can see she almost has it, but just takes that slight hop forward.
So it should be a couple of big scores for the final two on beam. And they all stayed on here today, 6 for 6. Let's send it over to Casey.
Well, Caitlin Atkinson talked about how she anchors every single event and how that is such an honor for her. But she also said it's a testament of how she has learned to compete with consistency. She said she loves being in this position because it shows how much this coaching staff trusts her. And she said that every time she steps out on the floor, she has to remind herself to breathe and to really live in the moment because she just loves being at the end of this lineup for her team and finishing what they all have done on floor, something that this Auburn team is incredibly proud of.
That's right. She takes the role very seriously, but tends to put a lot of pressure on herself, so she has to learn to relax on that end. It can be a double-edged sword sometimes. Her first pass looks like it had a little bit of bounce coming out of it. She'll want to really make sure she calms it down, really uses that floor to get the height, find that landing. Front full into that front layout. Nice controlled landing for that second pass.
Across the board, the landing's not as sharp maybe this week for Auburn. But again, you're on the road. You're shooting for a big score and trying to get in that fourth session of the SEC Championship. And Jeff Graba says if they can get over a 196 or 196.8 or in that 197 range, he'll be happy with that.
Wow. Nice landing there. They've had no real big major mistakes. They've just had small moments where they know they can change and fix it later on. And here is her first pass, that full in tuck, and you can see just too much power lifts that front leg. You really want to see it stay on the ground and nice and controlled.
Rock solid scores on floor for Auburn, and for Georgia on beam, Broussard with a 9.925 and Mary Beth Box with a season high 9.925. Send it over to Casey Smith, who is with Georgia head coach Dana Durante.
Well, Coach, you said how important it was for your girls to perform with confidence on beam. What did you see from them?
Lots of fight, and that's what we've been after all season. We had a couple of wobbles, but, man, they fought hard. And that is to be celebrated, absolutely, because that's what we've been after. There's so much about perfection that when it doesn't feel perfect, they're kind of like, oh man, that wasn't perfect. Tonight we saw them fight, and that's really what they're about. So excited about that. Ready to get into floor and just bring it home for the seniors.
And what was your message to them as they head to floor?
Exactly that. Let's bring it home for the seniors. We've been awesome on floor all year. Let's finish strong and just have a blast out there.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, you heard Dana. The Gym Dogs at their best when they hit that floor here at Stegman Coliseum. The three seniors looking to close this one out big when we come back.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. If you are on Medicare and struggling to afford the out-of-pocket costs, there is coverage available that includes dental, vision, and prescription drugs. There are benefits with zero copays and zero deductibles. You are allowed to update your coverage. Call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now. If you have Medicare Part A, B, or a Medicare Advantage plan, call the Medicare Coverage Helpline to update your coverage. Free call, free advice, no obligation.
You may be taking new medications or need dental or vision care, or the copays and deductibles are hard to afford. All of this is costing you more than you thought it would. There is a solution. You can call and update your coverage. The call and the advice are free. Call now.
The Medicare Coverage Helpline. Free call, free advice, no obligation. Make sure you have all you deserve and update your coverage. Call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Call 800-813-9176. That's 800-813-9176. 800-813-9176.
Why is America safer today when we travel or go to busy places?
Because detection technology developed at Auburn turns canines into a powerful first line of defense.
Why are some accomplishments more meaningful than others?
Because for me, the best trophy is the one that fulfilled a promise to my mother.
Why does the Auburn family believe in and support our university?
Why?
Why?
Why? Because this is Auburn.
Number 8 Auburn and 10th ranked Georgia ready to close this meet out here in Athens. Right now it's Auburn with a lead by a score of 148.025 to Georgia's 147.725. And the beam scores pretty good at the bottom of this lineup for Georgia. 9.925 for Bessard and Mary Beth Fox with a 9.925, but solid, not a single fall here today. And on floor for Auburn, steady wins the race, and so far they have extended their lead to 0.3 here as we head to this fourth and final rotation. Well, here's a look at some of the news and notes from around the league. Of course, Lauren Beers, the big highlight last week, SEC Specialist of the Week, and yeah, a perfect 10 on vault will get you the nod for that honor.
And it was senior night. It was the first 10 of her career. And wow, what a vault she does. That Yurchenko 1.5 explodes off the table and really finds that landing. And Ashley Knight and Sarah Finnegan received SEC honors last week, where they helped LSU clinch their first win in Gainesville since 1994. And that with 3 9.9s on vault, beam, and floor, and Finnegan with a 9.925 on beam and the 9.9 on bars.
All of those ladies looking to hit big for their respective teams March 19th at the SEC Championship. Both sessions live on ESPNU and on the SEC ESPN network starting at 2 Eastern. When we come back, the finish in Athens. Lexus Demers has been a model of consistency on the balance beam for the Tigers. And Mary Beth Fox, her last regular season performance on floor here at Stegman Coliseum, coming up next. Senior night here in Athens, Georgia, as we head to this fourth and final rotation, and a lot of families in the house and some familiar faces.
That's right. We see Brandy J's mom on the left, Brittany's sister in the middle, and Mary Beth's mom on the right for the best seat in the house tonight.
That is actually the best seat in the house. No kidding. Right there on floor where the Georgia Gym Dogs will wrap this one up. Auburn will head to the balance beam, and their scores much improved over the course of the season as we see Colin Lodge leading off.
She has a more difficult series. See that back handspring layout. Step out to the 2-foot landing on that layout.
Jeff Graba says he feels like beam might actually be their best event. It's what he sees from them in practice that leads him to believe that. It's just they've got to translate that out to the competition floor.
And beam will usually be that last event that transitions during the competition just because of the nature of the event. Round off 1.5 dismount. Nice start for Cullen and the Auburn Tigers on the balance beam. She had a nice solid routine and finishes off with a good high dismount and almost that stuck landing. You can see a little bit of that step coming out.
Now Georgia over on floor where Sydney Sneed will lead them off. Their most improved event from a year ago, and you just have that feeling tonight, senior night, that these dogs are gonna hit big in this final event.
They definitely have fun when they go to floor, and they have that confidence from hitting all season.
They scored the season high 49.625 here at home to beat Florida a couple of weeks ago.
Nice combination whip through to that double back, great landing.
I can remember back in the second meet of the season, Georgia and Arkansas, you said you were going to keep your eye on Sydney Sneed, this freshman.
There's just something about her. When she competes, you want to watch her. She has the technique and just something special about her.
And she has certainly lived up to the hype this season. Somebody they can continue to build this program around as the years go by.
Not only has she been confident and consistent for the Gym Dogs, she has more in her bag of tricks. They haven't put it out, all of it out this year, just with timing and ability and just getting her out. But she's been consistent.
She's been nursing that back issue, which has sort of prevented her from throwing everything in the kitchen sink out there, but it doesn't matter. Her scores have been fantastic all across the board this season.
And tonight should be the same thing. Nice double pike finish for that floor routine. Great landings all the way around.
Again, Auburn with the .3 lead, and Georgia trying to chip away at it to bring home this win on senior night.
Her first pass, the whip to 2 back handsprings into that double back. Great height in the air, and just such a nice, soft, controlled landing you're looking to see. And the double pike, again, beautiful height and control in that landing.
Samantha Serio up on beam now. Will follow the 9.85 from Cullen. She got into this beam lineup, Samantha did, after the injury to Emma Engler in that Arkansas meet. Very hittable routine for her. It has been in that 9.8 range consistently this season.
Coach Graba really just wanted to put a simple hit routine together just to help gain some confidence. Nice series. Really looking for those legs and arms and everything on the balance beam to be tight and controlled. You can see her double swing those arms after that leap pass. Looked like she was about to have a body check and swings the arms instead onto the dismount. Front full, slight step back. Really hoping on the simple dismounts to really gain those stuck landings to every 10th counts as this meet is getting very close at the end.
And we mentioned Georgia chip it away at this Auburn lead. Sneed with a career high 9.875 to lead these dogs off. And now Vivi Babelis ready to go behind her. Done a much better job controlling her landings on floor. And she stepped out of bounds 2 weeks ago. Just cleaned it up in the week since.
Starts it off, whip to double back. And that was a larger lunge in her landing. You'll see a don't want them to be too long of a lunge. You want a nice simple arm, shoulder distance apart. Looking to build that momentum from Snead. Front layout, front full. Down that center diagonal. Great positioning. Dee loves to compete. Looking to find that last tumbling pass landing. Big difficulty at the end, around a double pike.
She did that very well.
She did exactly what she needed to do. A nice hit routine, building that momentum. And instead of putting that double pike first, no, she's gonna do it last. Round off to double pike and a nice finish. The last impressions for those judges before they give her that score.
Back over to beam. This is Taylor Krippner following up the 9825 from Samantha Serio. And let's send it over to Casey.
Melissa, Jeff Graba told us that this team is really good at blocking out the environment when they're away on the road, and that's something that he really likes to see from them. And right before Taylor's routine, she was walking herself through it. She was talking to the coaching staff, and you could just see her blocking out the music, the crowd, and this entire team just really supporting her. They're in their own bubble down here, and that's something that this coaching staff really likes about this team.
Well, each team member, when they go up on the balance beam, they know they have confident people around them, which just really builds their confidence while they're on the balance beam. Great connection there. And this is the first time she will do the same beam routine 2 weeks in a row. She's been playing around with the different skills and what she's able to do, but they didn't want to just throw in a skill because she could do it. They wanted to be clean and consistent. A big step on that landing, but what a beautiful routine in the middle.
Hey dogs, I'm Brittany Rogers, and in my 13 after my second pass, I do a full twisting cartwheel on my knees.
Again, we mentioned it's senior night. Brittany Rogers' parents in the house looking on. And Brittany is over in the corner, getting in that zone on floor. And she told Dana, again, had that foot issue earlier in the week. I can't imagine going out on senior night and not being in the all-around. Basically, put me in, coach.
And that was because she remembers watching a Georgia meet on senior night, watching the athletes compete and thinking, I want to do all-around one time when I'm a senior.
She will probably not be in the floor lineup in the UCLA meet, but we'll see what she can bring tonight.
Double Arabian. Had the height, but just didn't have the technique to finish it off. The positive is that was a front landing, so it did not crunch her already inflamed ankle.
Now, as has been the case with Brittany today, when she has made some mistakes, she tends to rush a little bit, so we'll see how she finishes this routine.
1.5 to front layout. You can see a slight pike in the air in that front layout. See what she does for her last pass. If she does do that double pike or double tuck, she'll need a good takeoff in the air to make sure she does not land short on that ankle. And it looks like they are putting that 4-inch mat in for her, just in case, but she needs this block here. Does that double pike, does land a little bit short, but hopefully that mat will cover over. So not the routine Rogers was hoping for, but nonetheless, she competed all around in her senior competition, the double Arabian. Just far forward, couldn't find the find that landing, chest all the way down, but getting high fives all the way around.
And we should say it is an emotional night for the seniors. And this is Lexis Demers over on beam, has done such a nice job in this event. Peaking at the right time, even though she's been dinged up at times this year. The coaching staff has done a really nice job managing her.
What I like about this routine is she has a nice finesse to her when she does all of her skills. Nice series there. Full control. Coach Graber was saying they want those first 3 in the lineup to hit so they can give the opportunity to the last 3 to go out and hit big with the routines they have. Slightly off center on that dismount, but she stays on. Smiles all around.
And that will follow up the 9.75 for Taylor Krickner. Ahead of her, here's another look at her dismount.
She does a side aerial into the back full. You can just see from her takeoff, she's already going a little sideways. You want to go straight behind that balance beam when you land.
On floor, Brittany Rogers with a 9.6 score. Not her best night in the all-around. But she's got a couple more meets to make that up against UCLA and Utah before SECs. This is Gigi Marino. Scored 3 9.9s and 1 9.95 the last 4 weeks. She's got this 4 routine down.
She's so dynamic in this first pass, the double layout.
Wow.
Beautiful body position in the air, flat hips all the way through. When you have a big skill like that, sometimes you tend to pike down when you finish. She does not. She keeps it flat the entire way.
Great splits, so much power.
One and a half to front layout. Bringing the energy into this crowd. So she has had 2 controlled landings for her 1 and 2 passes, just has number 3 to go. Georgia really looking for a good score to keep fighting.
Wow.
And you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
My goodness, Gigi Marino. Very nicely done.
That landing, when you see a landing like that with 2 feet, no lunge, it shows they had the height, they had the right direction in the air. Here it is, the double pike, and does not move. That's got to be a good feeling for her.
And she got some of the Gym Dog faithful on their feet after that one. So we send it back over to beam and Abby Millay. She picked up her lowest beam score of the season last week with a 9.6. But she did fight to stay on, prevented a fall. It was a rare miss for her. Expected to do much better here tonight.
It was in that combination, the leap to the sheep jump with those legs all the way back, touching her head. She also had a larger body check on this, the back handspring layout, step out. Just a slight check tonight. Really seeing her grow this season, just in her confidence level and the way she performs these skills. You can see she almost had a slight check there, but stopped herself. She's really becoming that confident beam athlete who attacks each skill.
You look up and down the lineup, it's freshmen and sophomores. The future of Auburn, very bright. Great finish.
Has a good series, the back handspring, layout, step out, and just, you can see those hips move over, but she pulls those arms back, helping her stay right on top of that balance beam.
So you heard some cheering from the fans when Abby Millay was on beam because the score came in for Gigi Marino, and it's a career-high 9.95. And now Mary Beth Box, out of Georgia's 9 meets this season, she's got 8 scores of 9.9 or better on floor.
And there you see that Sass winking at the camera. She has so much height. We've seen it in other athletes, but hers is just out of the ballpark. Double pike. She did have that large lunge.
Let's send it over to Casey.
Well, Melissa, Mary Beth knew how emotional this night would be, and it's absolutely emotional down here on the floor. Brittany Rogers crying after her routine. Mary Beth had to turn her back. She said, I can't watch this. I'll start crying too. She told me, she said, I've done this routine 1,000 times. I could do it in my sleep. I just have to wait to get emotional after my body's finished my routine on floor.
So far, so good.
And that's so true. This event is her event, and she's had so much fun with it. Playing with the crowd. You don't want to let those emotions affect that floor routine that she does know how to do in her sleep.
Again, Georgia still trying to chip away at the Auburn lead. See the scoring coming for Abby Millay. But as we said, you might as well just give the 9.9 to Mary Beth Box because that is what she has done in every meet but one this season.
Last pass. The double back, huge height in the air. Huge.
Oh, beautiful.
Really found that landing.
That's how you finish out your career in the regular season on floor.
Oh, and there it goes. You see her getting a little bit emotional. So exciting having your family right there. There's her double back to finish off her last meet in the Stegman Coliseum. Great night for her.
Now Caitlin Atkinson, the anchor on beam. Another big-time senior for the Auburn program. And we'll send it over to Casey.
Melissa, Caitlin Atkinson knows that she's a perfectionist. In fact, she said that even if she hit a perfect 10, she would still look for reasons that she could improve. And that's something that she said this entire team has really embraced in their training. They all want to be perfect, and she really embodies that as a leader of the team.
Oh, she's such a confident, very calm beam worker. And when you focus on what to do better, you're focusing, kind of distracting yourself from any little mistakes you might have had earlier in your season, just wanting to do everything better.
Now she's been expected as an anchor in all of the events to clinch at times for her team. She needs a 9.825 or higher to clinch this meet for the Auburn Tigers.
Here's the dismount.
Wow.
I believe she probably got that score.
My goodness. The seniors, you just watch them and it's just beautiful gymnastics. You can see right there on the finish, on the full.
Still, I do think they have so much more potential on the balance beam, but this is huge for them in a tight meet, ending on balance beam to get the scores they needed.
And the final senior up tonight, Brandy J, on floor. The final time in this regular season, gracing Gym Dog fans with her presence. Her season high is a 9.925, career high a 9.975. She's been very, very good here tonight.
To get the big score tonight, you really want to see this first pass. Her form and legs together. It's big tumbling. A full twist with that double back.
By the way, Atkinson with a 9.925, so Auburn has won this meet. But Jay, she's gonna finish strong.
Front, double full front layout.
Wow.
Now that is some big tumbling.
Mary Beth Fox ahead of her, by the way, with a 9.925.
the last pass to go. Deep breath before. Whip half, front full. Secured that landing. It's going to be a big score for her.
The Auburn Tigers, it is senior night for Georgia, but the Tigers walk away with the victory. A 197-325. We say the best bring out the best, and that is a season high for Auburn. You know Jeff Graba is going to be thrilled with that score. Again, trying to clinch that forced clinch in the evening session of the SEC Championship, but an emotional night for Georgia here. Georgia, we will talk about their scores and their seniors on the flip side. Big night of gymnastics in Athens. Close and some big scores. It is Auburn with a victory. 97-325 to Georgia's 197-225. And standing by with the winning head coach Jeff Graba, C. Smith.
Coach, I was just your first win inside Segment Coliseum. What did you tonight?
Well, we have a lot of fight. This team good about putting everything, blocking everything out, putting it behind them. And if it's good, we put it behind us, and if it's bad, we put it behind us. And I thought we did a job of that tonight.
And you told us that you really wanted us all four there. Did you see that tonight?
We're pretty close. I think we got a little bit of room left. We had a lot of energy on floor. We didn't pull it really well, but we came back and did a really good job on team. So yeah, I'd give us a 94 out of 100.
Well, and what improvement to see on that 94 out of 100?
Well, we're doing a much better the board. It's little things, it's landings, and our best event but tonight. So it's just that it's nice to go back good stuff, and I think they'll be excited about that.
And with Caitlin anchor of every single event, what is she?
Of an hour.